Hello everyone, Wealthy Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the Caribbean. It is Saturday evening, May 13, 2023. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video, share, subscribe and tap the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I post a brand new video. Feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section letting me know that that's been liking your recently. Also feel free to ask any other related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. I respond to all comments and I really live for this stuff. Alright, so taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can still see that the entire Atlantic basin is being dominated by ridges of high pressure that's sending a lot of easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. We can also see that we have that stalled out cold front that stretches all the way from northern section of North Atlantic all the way down to the north of the eastern Caribbean. And we can also see that this cold front has induced a trough across portions of the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos and Cuba. Taking a look at the visible satellite images before the sun went down, we can see those low level patches of clouds moving from east to west across the main development region into the Caribbean, all courtesy of that easterly flow of wind brought about by that high pressure ridge. We can also see that we have that line of clouds associated with the cold front that stretches all the way from northern section of North Atlantic all the way down to the north of the eastern Caribbean. And we can see that we have the clouds associated with that trough affecting portions of the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, Cuba, Hispaniola and even Jamaica with some amount of overcast sky showers and thunderstorms. And it is this trough that could be possible for bringing some amount of rainfall, maybe even some flash flooding rainfall early next week. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean's weather later on. Let's focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about today's weather. It was stated that we would have had some amount of early morning rainfall across sections of some eastern parishes in Jamaica. And actually we even had some amount of rainfall across sections of some northern parishes last night. Sections of Hanover, maybe even St. James got in on some heavy thunderstorms last night. Even sections of Portland getting in on some early morning rainfall just as predicted. It was also stated that the afternoon would bring some amount of rainfall across sections of central and western Jamaica with a bias towards the north coast considering that they have the upper level support. And what ended up happening? A post was made at 3:15 p.m. on Saturday afternoon, this afternoon, highlighting some clouds bringing overcast skies, showers and thunderstorms across those very spots. So sections of some central and western parishes in Jamaica with the bias across mainly northern parishes. And we even had our commenters confirming the rainfall that we indeed received. Unbothered Tony 94 stating rain a tear like storm, and when asked where, she stated at Whitehall in Kingston. Even on our Twitter page we had our commenters confirming the rainfall. Hale Whale stating rain in Duane Park from 4 till now. My Shad O stating rain just starting Mobe. Lewis Clark stating on the north I heard Brownstown got a good wetting. Drax Hall we had a little rain with thunder, all now the ground don't wet. St. Anne's Bay to Salem Runaway Bay overcast. Simonia stating Mandeville overcast. And we even had PG 876 stating that it rained in his portion of St. James, with this commenter stating I watched the rain fall over the other side while sun pelt me. So I guess it's not your day today, but your day might be coming very soon in terms of the rainfall. Alright, so taking a look at the visible satellite images across Jamaica for today. So we indeed saw that we had that buildup of clouds across sections of central and western Jamaica. And then when those clouds became those thunder clouds or cumulonimbus clouds, they were being pushed off towards the east-northeast, all courtesy of that upper level wind shear in the upper levels of the atmosphere. And we see these images even better on the infrared satellite images where we see the colors, and the more colorful these clouds get, the higher or the colder the cloud tops. And we usually see the lightning and the thunderstorms right there where we have those sparkling white dots. So we indeed got that rainfall, especially across sections of some northern and western parishes, St. Elizabeth as well, Westmoreland got in on some of that rainfall. Even up to recording hours, the Doppler radar images show that we still had some rainfall across sections of the island. We know that Doppler radar images show the actual rainfall over an area as opposed to satellite images that show cloud cover, and we can have cloud cover over an area like what we have right now and not necessarily rainfall. So we can see that we have some moderate rainfall as represented by the greens across sections of the waters to the west right there of Westmoreland, and some yellows that indicate strong rainfall off the coast as well. Taking a look at what the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website is showing for the rainfall that we received across the island for today, we can see that yes, we indeed had that rainfall across sections of northern Jamaica, and it went over into sections of western Jamaica as well, just like what we saw on the satellite images. Taking a look at the temperatures for tonight, we can see that we are 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 26 degrees Celsius in Kingston. And as you know, as the night progresses, these temperatures should be getting lower. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, it's good to see that for the most part, both the Euro and the GFS models are showing that Jamaica is not embedded in any above normal temperatures for the most part. We're in between, we're in the clear. So we don't have above normal temperatures and we don't have slightly below average temperatures as indicated by the blues. So we're going to be receiving average temperatures. And what are the average temperatures for the month of May? 89 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about the equivalent of 32 degrees Celsius. Taking a look at the dry air map, we can see that we still have the driest air right there to the northwest of Africa. As we can see on the key at the bottom, the reds and the whites within those ranges represent the driest air. Jamaica right now is situated in an area of moist air, lots of blues around the island, and majority of the Caribbean seems to have some low end dry air, so some yellows, all courtesy of that trough that's moistening up the atmosphere. And with the atmosphere being moistened, there's a chance that we might get in on some more rainfall. There's a chance that we could even get in on some flash flooding rainfall early next week. So we'll see what exactly unfolds. Try to take necessary precautions so that you're not that drastically affected. Taking a look at the Saharan dust forecast, 2 p.m. on Sunday seems to show some amount of Saharan dust, some slight hazy weather, but it is not that noticeable like what we saw in the summer of 2020. So the driest air seems to be right there across the eastern main development region as well as sections of Africa, as seen by the darker shades of brown. So we're indeed grateful that the Saharan air layer that we're having right now is not that drastic. Taking a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can see that both the Euro and the GFS are showing that for 12 p.m. on Sunday, we have lots of blue surrounding the island. On the key at the bottom right, the blues are represented by the 1.5 meter wave heights or less. And because of the winds that we'll be receiving tomorrow, we can see that we're going to be receiving anywhere from, let's say, 5 to even 15 knot winds. So it's not that robust. It makes sense that the wave heights are not that high. It's going to be coming in from the east. And then look closely, we see some darker shades of blue across sections of central and western Jamaica. So there might be some amount of rainfall to be had, some afternoon convection, something similar to what happened today. And where's the upper level support going to be coming from? It's going to be coming more from the west. For tomorrow, the Euro is showing more from the west. The GFS is showing more from the west southwest. Either way, there might be a bias towards the north coast still. We shall see exactly what unfolds. We will still be receiving some amount of rainfall in the afternoon tomorrow, especially with the trough lingering and meandering across the Greater Antilles. Taking a look at the rain forecast for tomorrow, we can see that both the Euro and the GFS are showing some blues right there across eastern Jamaica. So maybe St. Thomas, Portland might get in on some of that rainfall, maybe even spilling into sections of Kingston and St. Andrew. We shall see exactly what unfolds. And that is around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 10 a.m. Jamaica time. Skipping ahead to a couple hours later, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 2 p.m. Jamaica time. Look at what both the Euro and the GFS models are showing. We see lots of blues across where? Eastern, Central, and Western Jamaica, with the darker shades of blue right there across northern parishes in Jamaica. Even some colors showing some higher rainfall or heavy rainfall totals of the coast of the parishes of maybe St. Mary, St. Anne as well. So there might be some heavy rainfall, maybe with some isolated flash flooding. We shall see exactly what unfolds on Sunday. Try to get that laundry done as early as possible. Taking a look at the accumulated precipitation forecast, these maps are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Sunday. And we can see that yes, definitely there's going to be rainfall across the island, although the rainfall totals max out at about 0.58 of an inch of rainfall on the Euro and up to 0.66 of an inch of rainfall on the GFS. There's definitely some rainfall to be had across sections of eastern, central, and western Jamaica tomorrow. And considering that we still have that wind shear coming in from the west southwest, the bias will be across the northern parishes in Jamaica. And we're indeed grateful that we're getting all of this rainfall. We know that May is our secondary rainy season. We usually receive up to 230 millimeters of rainfall during this month, and we've been lacking in terms of majority of the rainfall that we should have been getting thus far. So hopefully the rainfall that we're going to be getting makes up for that. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let's focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So from about 1:30 p.m. today, these images are showing that we had some amount of isolated passing showers affecting sections of Guadeloupe, St. John, St. Kitts, maybe Antigua, Barbuda, Anguilla, the British and US Virgin Islands, sections of Puerto Rico as well. Look at sections of eastern and western Puerto Rico getting in on some light to moderate rainfall. Taking a look at the Barbados radar, some 1 and 2 passing showers to the east and west of there, heading into sections of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, even sections of St. Lucia getting in on some of that rainfall, maybe even spilling into parts of Martinique. Taking a look at the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see that we do indeed have some amount of rainfall right there across portions of Guyana and Suriname, not to mention sections of Honduras, Cuba, and parts of the Bahamas associated with that trough. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we have some slight above normal temperatures right there across the waters of the southern Caribbean, not to mention sections of Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, eastern Cuba, and the Turks and Caicos, while we have average temperatures or slightly below average temperatures across majority of the eastern Caribbean. We can see some above normal temperatures across majority of Central America and the southern and eastern United States. Taking a look at the Saharan dust forecast, we can see that for the most part in the Caribbean, we have some slight hazy weather to receive, not that drastic like what we see across portions of Africa or the eastern main development region. As we can see, the darker shades of brown are what we see right there that indicate the most hazy weather. So we're in the clear for the most part across the Caribbean at this time. Taking a look at the wave forecast for Sunday, we can see that both the Euro and the GFS models are showing that the highest waves seem to be right there to the far south of Jamaica and Hispaniola, as indicated by the purples, not to mention to the far east of Trinidad, across portions of the main development region, as well as to the far east of the northeastern United States. And that's due to the fact that the strongest winds will be across those very spots. The strongest winds on the wind map are represented by the yellows, and we have the strongest winds right there up to 25 to 30 knots to the far south of Hispaniola, to the far east of the northeastern United States, not to mention across portions of the waters to the far east of Trinidad. So it makes sense. Taking a look at the rain forecast for tomorrow, both the Euro and the GFS models are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Sunday, and we see some reds right there across portions of Cuba, the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos that indicate 1 inch or more of rainfall as indicated by the key on the right. The more colorful this map gets, the more rainfall is expected. We can see some flash flooding possibly taking place across majority of the Greater Antilles, maybe sections of northern Jamaica getting in on some of that associated with the trough that we mentioned earlier, portions of Hispaniola, so Haiti, the Dominican Republic getting in on some of that rainfall, even sections of Puerto Rico still to receive some amount of rainfall. We don't see much in the way of rainfall in terms of consensus across majority of the leeward and the windward islands, but we do indeed see some slight patches of greens that indicate some rainfall, so they might receive some 1 or 2 passing shower either way. Sections of the southern portion of the basin, including western Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, and Costa Rica, might get in on some rainfall as usual. Taking a look at the western portion of the basin, we can see even up to 3 or more inches of rainfall being predicted across portions of southern Texas and the eastern Mexico right there. Not to mention sections of the Yucatan Peninsula getting in on some spotty showers, sections of Belize, Guatemala, even western Honduras getting in on some of that. I don't know that when we have consensus or agreement on both maps, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.